Hey there, This Lifer. Welcome back. Day 7. We've finally made it. I hope you're pumped. Today is the day that you're going to kick that goal. But first, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background story about probably one of the most memorable days of my life. It was the toughest day I've ever had. Most physically demanding, emotionally and mentally it was draining, but also the most rewarding experience I've ever had. It was March the 20th, back in 2015. I'd been a part of a charity called the Day of Difference, and it was a really important charity to me. I supported them quite heavily for a number of years, and they had these bike rides that we used to do to raise money. So anyway, the ride was about 800 or 900 kilometres over 4 days, but day 2 on the 20th of March was 2 of the highest peaks in Australia. We were going to ride our bikes up both of them in one day. So the first peak was up Charlotte's Pass, and that was a pretty long climb, but I was okay with that. I'd done a lot of training and I was quite prepared and travelling quite well. On the ride back down the mountain, some of the other guys that I was riding with came whizzing past me. I was a little bit hesitant to go too fast down the hills, but I made it down to Jindabyne. Then there was a moment of decision for the groups. We had to decide whether we wanted to go a bit further and climb the second mountain, or there was the option to give up and go home and have a rest. Half the group decided to go home and half decided to climb the mountain. I was determined that I was going to do it. That was my challenge that I'd set myself prior to going on the tour. So I jumped on with the crowd and away we went up the mountain. Well, the first rise up to Thredbo is really, really steep, and the peloton left me behind. So I was struggling, but I was going to make it. I kept telling myself I was going to make it. I fortunately had 2 other riders that dropped off with me. One was a professional rider that joined us on the tour, and the other one was the bike mechanic, and he was an amazing guy. He was so inspirational and so positive during the whole of the tour, and fortunately I had these guys on my side all the way up the mountain. The climb up broke me. I tried to quit 4 times. Mentally I was exhausted, physically I had nothing left. I was gone. Emotionally, I had tears in my eyes at certain points in time, and I wanted to give up, but I kept telling myself that there was more to it than that. You know, I really wanted to achieve the goal. The 2 guys that rode with me, the whole time, they could have gone on ahead, and I urged them to go on ahead, but they wouldn't leave me. They were determined to make sure that I got up the mountain. And we finally reached the peak. The rest of the group was ready to come back down. I was in a world of hurt, passion, reward. Everything in my mind was kind of blank, and then it sort of occurred to me that I'd achieved exactly what I'd set out to do. I climbed these 2 mountains. It took me like 8.5 hours or something like that to climb the mountains. 3,800 metres of vertical climbing, and over 200 kilometres riding. I was beside myself with joy, pride, every emotion that you can feel in yourself. I felt it at that moment, and I'm so happy that I didn't give up. That's the main issue, or the main thing that I need to get through to people, that when times are hard, yes, it hurts, but think about the goal, think about the rewards you get. And I still think back now on that moment, and it gives me a pleasure just knowing that I achieved something that I wanted to do, but I wasn't sure whether I could complete, and I'm really, really stoked with it. So keep that in mind, think about it, and use that sort of passion and inspiration and energy to make sure that you achieve your goal today. When you complete your goal, make sure that you record it and then document it. Put it on This Lifer forum. We'd all love to see it. We want to support you. We want to be there and help you. Remember, the hard work pays off twice. Once when you actually achieve the goal, and the second time when you get rewarded from the rest of us, when we can see your goal and we can talk to you about it. I'd like you to consider this quote from Jim Rohn. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future, it's something you design for the present.
I'll be there. So if I decide to wave a my